I'm going to start with a poem of my own. Today marks the start of Pride Month, which for some reason is a problem for some people. It's not a problem for me, so I'm going to read a poem, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, well, it's Pride Month. And this poem is called Love's Day Will Come, and it's dedicated to my late son who was trans and gay and died 2 years ago around this time. Never again sit across from you in the diner, you snacking on the bacon I ordered, knowing full well you'd poach from my plate. Nor take photos with your phone, ironic poses, flexing muscles for you to caption, no toxic masculinity here. It's not enough that you are dead to the shrieking ghouls, red oozing into state houses, coagulating into school boards. Their intrusive howls and chants will never overpower my memory of the music of your voice. Ghouls seek enchantments to overcome their insignificance. They plunder graveyards to fill their mojo bags with our children's bones and vials of sacrificial blood. By gavel and gun, they seek to unwind the strands of your life, laying drag on rainbow crosswalks, leaving black rubber scars, black rifles toted to bookstores and libraries, afraid books will free their kids from the enforced stupidity of their flim-flam ministers who wouldn't know God if we nailed him to a tree. It's hard to imagine better days. The swindlers, chiselers, cheats, they come and never go. They trust in the supremacy of gavel and gun, but youth have power in the music of their voice. Love's Day will come. So today some of the poems are going to be a bit in your face, and thank you, a bit controversial, maybe a bit confrontational, but that's okay because our theme this year really comes from the life that Anne Bradstreet herself lived, which is that her words were slowly changing the world. Back in her day, some said that a woman's hand better fit a sewing needle than a writing quill. And that comes from one of her introductions to her volume of poetry, which, to her surprise, wound up being published over in England at a time when female authors and poets were basically not being published, especially not in Puritan New England. But over time, she's become known as one of the greatest voices in the English language. And for those who don't know, Anne Bradstreet, who lived right here where we're all sitting, and her family lived right here, she was the first published poet in the English language in the colonies in the New World, and what became North Andover. So we're sitting and writing poems and reading poems in the place where poetry, in the English language that is, began in earnest right here. And so every one of you from, who's contributed a poem, whether you're a finalist, a winner or not, you're walking in the footsteps of the great Anne Bradstreet. And I think she would be extremely happy to see you all here today, getting out here and expressing yourself, and sometimes using quite a bit of courage to do so. I just came from the John Greenleaf Whittier birthplace. We had an event up there today, and he was somebody whose words also changed the world. He was big on, he came up pretty, did pretty well for himself, but he worried about people who didn't do as well as him, and the workers who were getting exploited every day. And so with his poems and with his activism, he was able to move New England and Massachusetts into a friendlier place where people want to live and work and play. And I'm glad that there's many kids and adults that are here today that want to make our home the kind of place that's going to be a great place for everybody, no matter who you are or where you're from. And right now, I'm going to read the lists of the winners and the finalists of our contest. This is the 4th year of the Anne Bradstreet Poetry Contest, which we have kept a local contest for people who live, work, and play here in North Andover. Our overall theme winner, Shelley Osafo Grant of the Brooks School, for her poem, Black Girls Have to Learn. High school winner, Ethan Bologna, North Andover High School, his poem, Cicada. Finalist, Emma Dara from North Andover High School, How to Love a Country. The Astronauts Know is also a finalist poem by Elise Henry, a senior at North Andover. Daniel Min, also a finalist for Colors of Unity from the Brooks School. And Shelley Osafo Grant from the Brooks School also is a finalist for the same poem, Black Girls Have to Learn. For the adults, our winner is Dean Charpentier, if I'm saying his name right. He wasn't here for me to ask him. 3 Stories to Change the World. Middle school winner, Ineshi Jayasekara from 7th grade at North Andover Middle School, not too far away, and she's going to be here to read for us. Also from North Andover Middle, we have Taryn Nair, Changing the World Through the Love of Listening, and we're going to hear from that poet too. Kaylee Wong, a finalist for Kindness, also from North Andover Middle School, and she's here. In the adult category, our town attorney, Christina O'Connor, this was a blind contest, so no favoritism was shown, but our town attorney is a finalist for Nature's Benacts. That's an Irish word. Grades 3 and 5, winner Sanjay Prasanna for his poem, Let's Save Our Earth, and we're going to hear from Sanjay. Robert Colling, he's not here for Walk With Your Own Feet, but we'll have somebody read that. Hugo, I believe they're related, is what I'm told. Hugo Colling is here for Haiku for the World, a finalist. And then a special award for theme and poetic form went to Charles Bohenick from Sargent, grade 4. Also in the adult category, we have as a finalist Gail C. Henney, who was a poet laureate of this town. But again, we read these blind, not knowing who the poets were. She's not going to be here, but we will read that for her. Oh, and in grades K through 2nd, we have as the winner Mava Bohenick, Use Your Voice, and finalist Scarlett Stewart from Atkinson, grade 1, Earth's Seasons. And we'll hear from those fine young poets in a little bit. So if you're here, if you show up and I didn't know you were here, but you hear your name called, just rush the stage and grab the mic from me. Otherwise, somebody from my committee will read your poem for you and we'll get those awards to you. But if you are here, you can walk around here. We'll have somebody guide you to the back of the stage, come up the stairs, and I'll make sure the mic is at the proper height for you, whether you're big, tall, or whatever direction you want to read from. Let's get started. The first poem we're going to hear, and unfortunately Shelley isn't here to read it for us, is Black Girls Have to Learn. And we're going to hear it from Karen Klein, Poet Laureate Emeritus of... Oh, we have a change. Well, I'm going to clear the mic, and you're going to hear this poem, which, again, is our overall theme winner for capturing the theme. And as you have your brochures here, our theme was Words Changing Worlds. And when you hear this, you'll see how it is the overall winner.
Hi, I am not Shelley Osafo Grant, but I'm going to read you her amazing poem called Black Girls Have to Learn. How to dress, how to speak, how to be, how to use their voice without their words reshaping into daggers. While others revel in song in the sway of dance, Black girls assume the role of teachers with no room for their own rhythm. No leisure to explore their essence, to uncover their truth. Black girls have to choose. Whose validation do I crave today? We've become addicted to a drug they'll never be enough of. I'd pay any amount to any dealer who makes an offer. Black girls have to hide, conceal their emotions like a Band-Aid covering a cut that cuts beyond the bone. Tread cautiously to escape the snares laid by life's hand. We need to remind Black girls, you're allowed to cry, to be angry, to just exist, to celebrate your existence. You deserve that, Black girl. And for you are both somebody's ancestor and their wildest dream, a vision of things unseen and yet to be.
The next poem that I'm going to read is by our high school winner, Ethan Bologna. See, he's not here, so I can't ask him, and he's going to be very angry with me for butchering that last name. He actually kind of wrote a manifesto after he accepted. We're saying he couldn't come today, but he kind of criticized poetry contests, saying they only picked the pretty poems. Isn't that right? Yeah, right. He thought we only picked the pretty poems. I was like, well, that's one reason I decided to read a poem of my own that might not be so pretty. And if you're interested in seeing, those words, they're in the Ghost City Press in the April issue. But maybe this poem isn't pretty, but it sure does capture a whole lot of our theme and timely. I just was in Nashville a couple weeks ago, and I was swarmed by cicadas when I was out swimming. And his poem is called Cicada. By the timbal strum you may hear it, by the molted shells you may see it, by the overwhelming swarms you may fear it. But instead of any admiration, I see you flee it. Is listening not the process of change? Is an attempt to understand just that strange? Perhaps I'll wait for another year. However, expressing my words cannot, will not, as this cicada exits the burrow of my page. Perhaps this time you will listen, though maybe these cicadas in their flying phase will fly above you without your lifted vision. You'll wait for them to fly overhead and leave the shells less live than dead, then collect these molted trophies. They are beautiful, aren't they? They are. And now presented, these trophies are, their beauty sure to change the minds of those either lost or far, whose ears hear not but will change in kind, to change and be the kind to listen unhindered. Do not cover your ears against writing partially kindled. But will you listen first? Look up at the cicadas above, stir them, because this here is but a second molt of a scribe of variable insects and critters separate, to whom is owed an apology the most for the world-changing words you should venerate. Encourage these poets. Listen to their timbal strum. The shells you've left laying on the ground are from a spectacle mist. Now I ask this simple question of if you understand and honor my meaning. Do you? Ooh. I think we did understand, Ethan. We got some heavy hitters here, published poets and award-winning poets on our committee. And I think you'd be surprised, Ethan, the kind of stuff we're into. So maybe Ethan will join our committee one day if he stays here in North Andover, if we want to have him. If he, yeah, we need some sarcastic youth like him. So if you know Ethan, tell him to reach out. We might have a place for him on our committee. That we have the initiation might scare him off though, but we'll see. I'm kidding. Our lawyer's not here, so I'm going to crack some jokes. Next up here, we have a finalist, Emma Dara, for How to Love a Country, and I'll have a reader come up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Mark Bohr. I'm past poet laureate, and I sure wish Emma was here today, but in her place, I would like to read her poem. She goes to North Andover High School, and the poem is How to Love a Country. How to love a country, America, my anti-hero. Your fatal flaw withstands. I want to say I love you, but I feel as though I can't. To do so would be treacherous and far too patriotic. How to love a country where to err is idiotic, where antiquation goes to die and progress is a garish lie, where blue is good and red is bad, as if we're playing laser tag. America, my battleground, I thought we were united. We've quelled infernos of our past, but something else ignited. The flag I hail reads red, white, blue, yet all we see is red. It's such a sorry state of things to hate a would-be friend. We are a raging twister people, mighty winds of wild emotion, desperate for an ally to join us in blind devotion. We are the adolescent rebel, there's solace in resentment, and the thing we want we'll never have, to be wholly independent. I admit that I do need you, and I know you need me too, because without your cruel contempt, I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know who to fight. I wouldn't know what's at stake. I wouldn't know who's right. I wouldn't know who to hate.
Words that can change worlds, move worlds. The Astronauts Know by Elise Henry, another finalist, and we have a reader for that.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Jackson. I'm on the committee and have the joy of reading Elise Henry's poem, The Astronauts Know. We have watched countries crumble, leaders collide, and we've watched spaceships fly into the sky. When I see them, I wonder, if astronauts chose the moon over the sun, do the stars give them codes? When I see them, I ponder if aliens know Earth's echoing cries, wars never at close. But over and under my mind has still woven, I wrote about treasures and tokens. Treasures and tokens not material. See my treasure, my token inside of me. I write by the valleys, the rivers, the streams, their innocence, their kindness. It came scot-free. There's goodness on Earth. The astronauts know. They see us at points where we're far below. Just pins on a map, like splinters on docks. We're small. We're alive. We're lucky. Knock, knock. And all I can hope with my time on this clock is that someday we'll listen and stop. Thank you very much.
Last finalist that we had for our high school category was Daniel Min, Colors of Unity, and we have a reader for that.
So I'm Signa Spencer, and I am reading for Daniel Min of Brooks School. We are so sorry that all our high school prize winners didn't make it today, although we understand they have conflicts. So his poem is Colors of Unity. In the tapestry of life, a rich array of hues and shades in constant sway, each color unique in its own way, and yet together they form every day. As I journeyed far from home's embrace to a different continent, a different space, I found myself in a diverse place where everyone held a story to trace. In South Korea, my home's embrace, a place that shares the same race, but in America, a newfound grace, a tapestries of cultures, a vibrant chase. From every corner of the globe they came, each bringing gifts, a different flame, and in their diversity, no two the same. And yet together, they build a common frame. In classrooms filled with voices rich and bold, I learned the power of different stories told, of different paths and dreams untold, and in their diversity my own heart swelled. For in the tapestry of humanity's song, every voice, no matter how long, could be heard all year long by creating a harmony forever strong. So let us celebrate the colors we see, for in our diversity lies the key. When unity thrives, we all agree to a world united where all are free.
I'm going to make an executive decision, and I'm going to move the middle school up above this adult category winner for right now, because I want to hear from the middle school kids, I decided. So, Ineshi Jayasakara, come to the podium, please. And Ineshi is our winner, and she's got a poem that we just loved called Not Too Far Away.
Before I read, I'd like to introduce my poem, Not Too Far Away. Our world is not far from burning to ashes by the climate change we created. At the same time, we are not too far away from it being restored by reconstruction, just like mending broken pottery by the ancient art of kintsugi. Not too far away. Speak now, or forever burn, in a shattered world where we roam. Unaware of a lethal foe, we walk within a melting biome. Forests turn to embers, rising as black smoke. Soldiers of the earth, fighting a silent war. Beneath a Gentoo penguin's feet, faults grow, splitting an eternity of ice and snow. Melting into a growing sea as the polar bears, a world away, weep in despondency. Blithe blue skies turn stormy as a summer breeze becomes a nightmarish gale, raising turmoil in the seven seas, whilst a once lush forest is now a scarred desert, water only in a distant sea. Speak now and mend the world, to a place of beauty and wonder, making way to a planet seemingly from the deepest depths of imagination, where a dark sea branches off into rivers lined with gold, the very veins of our once shattered blue marble, healed with kintsugi. Thank you.
The award is our winner. Congratulations. Thank you for sharing that. Very, very excellent. I don't like the word very. It doesn't really say much, but I give you 2 veries just for you. Very, very excellent. We got Taryn Nair. And after Taryn, Kaylee Wong, if you'd approach the podium to get ready, get on deck. See if that's a good idea.
Thank you. So my poem is called Changing the World Through the Love of Listening. So this is the excerpt. Listening is where love begins. Listening to ourselves and then our neighbors. Fred Rogers. For when the echo of life radiates through human emotions, that is love. For when the call of victory overpowers the chaos within, that is love. For when the very existence of our life is to listen, that is love. For when enemies look to allies for answers to growth, that is love. For when the world never ceases to grow, that is love. For when life seems to slow as friends come and go, that is love. For when the rushing river within our heart slows as the storm calms, that is love. For when life is captured through listening, that is love. For when the breeze of echoes sprinkles the soil with seeds of blooming voices, that is love. For when the echo of sound causes life to sprout anew, that is love. For when listening becomes more than voices, that is love. For when we can convert potent words into action, that's when we truly love ourselves and others. Thank you.
Hey, thank you for that. All right. That is love. Kaylee Wong is here with her poem, Kindness.
Alright, my poem is called Kindness. Kindness is an amazing thing that anyone can do. We all have heard that song of joy when you lift someone's day anew. Kindness is an invisible force that pulls us all along. We need it in our daily lives. It helps us feel so strong. Kindness has a secret power. It's the glue that binds us all. Without that little spot of light, our world would crumble and fall. Kindness is inside of you, no matter who you are. Your background doesn't define the real you. It's your personality that matters by far. Kindness is that spark of love that helps you when you're down. Kindness is an inspiration. It can keep away a frown. Kindness is like a flame. It can spread from me and on. Kindness is what banishes the dark. It shines a light to us and beyond. Thank you.
Wonderful. All right, Kaylee, you're an inspiration. Thank you for that. Well, let's see. Do we want to do some adults or keep with the kids for now? I want to keep going with kids. And then we'll read the adult poems because the kids are here. Grades 3 for 5. I've got Sanjay Prasanna, who is our winner with Let's Save Our Earth. On deck after Sanjay, we'll have, well, Robert's not here. We'll have somebody read for him, and Hugo Colling and Charles Bohenick. If he's here, he can be on deck and approach the podium. Oh. Take it away. There you go, sir.
My name is Sanjay Prasanna. I'm from 3rd grade and I'm going to be reciting my poem, Let's Save Our Earth. This poem was dedicated to my mom and my teacher, Miss Espinola. Let's save our Earth. Words can do wonders, they really can. Like telling the world about our plan. Save our Earth, let's all try to keep the blue in our sky. Turn off lights when not in the room. Save energy and beat the gloom. Water plants and gardens with care. Use less water. Be aware. Recycle papers, bottles, and cans. Reuse old things with our own hands. Speak up loud. Let others know. Together, our green world will grow. Plant more trees. Let them rise. They give us shade and clean our skies. Every word we say, every deed we do, helps our planet feel brand new. So come along, let's not wait. To save our Earth, it's not too late. With words and actions, hand in hand, we could keep safe this wonderful land. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my recital of Let's Save Our Earth. I hope you have a great afternoon.
This is for you, sir. We absolutely enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have Robert with us here? Oh, we don't have Robert. I'm going to have my kid come up and read for Robert. I present Samira Goodridge of West Middle School of Andover, and she's going to read. And I paid her money too for this because she's a professional actress here. Walk with Your Own Feet. Come on up. This poem's called Walk with Your Own Feet.
Wind cannot be controlled. It won't bend to your will. It won't ever be on your side. It won't write with your quill. You'll write your own story, and you'll play by the rules. But if you find your place within the wind's current, you'll find the tools to win the war between your mind and your will. Fight the idea, not the person. Hate the decision, not the deciders. Choose your soul. Choose with your soul, not someone else's. Walk with your own feet. Don't walk with another's. Talk with your own voice, not with your brother's. Start at your own level, not with your friends. Take your own time. Don't end when he ends. Don't mimic someone else. It makes you worse at being you. Think before you change yourself. It changes everything that is true about you.
So much. All right, thanks, kid. Awesome. But we do have a Hugo here, don't we? Let's get that down.
Hi, my name is Hugo, and this is my poem, Haiku for the World. People start their cars, spreading gray clouds everywhere. The earth cannot breathe. Go walking on the beach. Smells salted in the air. Wave full of trash. Leaves rustling in the wind. Wolves howling to the full moon. Cruel chainsaws in sight. Why do we do this? Why are we so destructive? Save our only home. Thank you.
Well, hold on, Hugo. Hold on, Hugo. Here, don't go anywhere yet. Here's this award's for you.
Thank you.
So why do we do this? Why do you think they do this?
Because it helps us?
What's that?
Because it helps us?
Yeah.
Help each other.
So you want to help out everybody, and what do you you ever see a wave full of trash? I have before. When I lived in New York City, the trash would come up, and it was all kinds of terrible stuff because they would just take the trash out into the down the Hudson River into the ocean, and guess where the trash ended up? Right on the beach. So I used to see waves full of trash. So have we learned anything since then?
Yeah.
We have learned? Maybe a little bit? All right, thank you. And now we have Robert. Robert? Are you Robert?
No, I'm Charles.
Charles, hold on a second. Oh, yeah, Robert wasn't here. That's right. Charles, I'm going by memory. Charles Bohenek, right?
Yes.
Do you go to Sergeant?
Yep.
Oh, then I got the right person. Come on up.
What?
Oh, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay.
There you go. That mic's yours. You own it.
Before I read, I would like to say a few words about my poem. My poem is, my poem talks about some things that I try to do every day and things that I think everyone should try to do every day. It also talks a little bit about, well, one of the messages I had in mind when I was writing this poem was that sure, it's important to see the big picture, but sometimes the little things can count too, like the kind words you might say to somebody. All right. Oh, and I would also like to point out that my grandmother and grandfather arrived just in time. My efforts. I wake up every morning with a smile on my face, and I think, how can I make the world a truly better place? By being kind to others, following the rule, picking up a piece of litter on my way to school. But no, it's the words that count, that compliment, inspire. A well-placed word of kindness can chase off hate and ire. If you do good and tell others, maybe they will do good too, envisioning a different world where kindness lives in you. And everybody else you see, it's as inclusive as can be. The world could be much better. To change things, use your voice. You really can change many things. It's all inside your choice. Choose to make things better. Choose to make things good. No one can force you. You just know you should. I wake up every morning with a smile on my face and think, how can I make the world a truly better place? Thank you and have a great afternoon.
Wait. You won a major award here.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You're one of our finalists here for the Anne Bradstreet 2024 Poetry Contest. And that's what you get. So put that on your application to Harvard or wherever. And we'll see you next year with more poems, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. You can go. You can go that way. That's cool.
I wouldn't miss it.
All right. I wouldn't miss it either. Well, let's see. Let's should we keep rolling with the kids and then get to the adults? Because the kids have been out in the sun. So we got two from grade K through 12. I've got is it Mava Bohanek? Is there any relation to the other gentleman?
Yes, and actually, I am her big brother, and I will be reading it for her today.
Oh, okay, come on up. Charles going to be escorting the next poet here, who is the winner of the K kindergarten through second grade category.
Okay, Mava, this hurts.
Take it away.
In my head, all goodness asks, why can't the world be like me? So I imagine a world with peace, hope, love, friendship. I don't imagine it for myself. I imagine it for you, dear reader. My moral for you is to use your voice to change things. Don't sit around and complain. Help me make the world a better place. Spread goodness. When something is wrong, use your voice. Fight for what's right. Thank you for helping me and the goodness.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Hey, wait. Another major award winner here. Take it away. There you go. It's for you.
Two award winners in one family. Do you think this is a good omen?
It's like the Lowells here, or somebody right here, right? Yeah, you can use the steps this time.
Okay. I mean, I jumped off the stage.
No, you did. That was not a problem. Thank you.
We got a poetic legacy there, lineage already, right? All right. Here comes Scarlett Stewart. Earth's Seasons is the title of her poem. Everybody welcome Scarlett. Here we go. I'll tell you what. Ready? Do you want me to hold that so you can read? Okay, you gonna do it? Okay, there you go.
I am blue, and I am green, and I am white. I spin slow, and I know that I am cold, and I'm hot sometimes. And when I change, that means I am having feelings.
Wow, that was beautiful. Scarlett, you want what does that poem mean to you?
The earth has feelings.
That's what I thought. So that was a metaphor for the earth, huh? That's beautiful. All right, thank you. The earth has feelings. Well, this is a terrific year's batch of poetry here. We're going to, we don't have the adult winners and finalists, but we do have members of our committee and the community who will come up and read. Our winner for the adult category again was Dean Charpentier. Again, I'm butchering names on cable access TV here, but that's okay. 3 stories to change the world.
So this poem, as Jason said, is by Dean Charpentier. 3 stories to change the world. 1. I still dream of the day my father disappeared ghost-like into the cornfield with my neighbor and a pair of shotguns. They were to rid the farm of hungry deer, and later, as I played in the sand under the swing set, I heard the shots from the distant tree line. That night in the dark, my father cried into a weathered bottle of stinging whiskey to forget the beastly blue bruise on his shoulder, or maybe it was to blot out the image of the wounded doe in the underbrush, her sides heaving and her fiery blood splatter across leaves, pooling like his bruise in the brickish dirt. And when his wound healed in the world, he would leave us. I've shot a gun once in my life, in the fresh green morning of my friend's backyard. I was just 9 or 10, but I can still feel the grip of the pistol in my clumsy young palm, metallic and balanced and too heavy for my boy's arms. And he showed me how to hold it, 2 hands that shook with power, and even then I knew it was too much for me, but I aimed with one eye, the shot, the recoil, the shock. The target pristine and disdainful as the ancient and disappointed forest absorbed the bullet. That was story 2. 3. I was in love with my son before he was born. Before even the idea of him, this morning I put him on the sleek yellow bus just after my phone buzzes news of today's school shooting. And excuse me, and I weigh the heavy device in my hand like the weapon of memory. The bus, the gun, the phone, the world. My father stretches for the horizons of the world. My son dwindles into the keeping of the world. Why can I not rage at the day's absurdity, at the grand philosophy of time's harsh fire? The sun rises again and again and again, mad red in the world's misty contradiction. Thank you.
Okay, and then Christine O'Connor, who just so happens to be the town attorney, her poem Nature's Binocs will be read by Graham.
All right. So this is Christine O'Connor's poem, as was said, Nature's Bannachts, and a quick clarifier, Bannachts is apparently the Irish word for blessing. This was a note included by the poet. And this poem is written somewhat in the style of Irish prayer poems. So this is Nature's Bannachts. When the world grows loud and voices are raised, but words are lost, may you hear the cricket chafing with other crickets, making a symphony in the evening's hours. When you come upon a deep crevasse and its darkness tugs at you, may you feel the warmth of a rising sun as it spreads its horizontal light across an open field, warming even the coldest of stones. When the path before you is muddied, slick, and mired in muck, may you rise like a goldfinch in early spring, bringing color to a branch where there has been none. When you are apart from others and isolation surrounds you like a forest, may you be like a soft lamb joining a field of sheep, sniffing, grazing, bleating, all at once becoming a flock. When you are hurried and the pace of life leaves you breathless, may a beetle cross your path. And as she slowly climbs, one obstacle after another, realize that you too will get there. And all the world is night, and the sparkle you seek is lost behind the clouds. May you dream of the Milky Way, staring into its bands of billowy blues and orange dust. And when you wake, know you are part of this universe. You are connected to everything, and everything is connected to you. The roundness of the moon, a whale's eye, a belly 9 months in, a ring of fire in the sky, and the blinding brightness in us all.
Coming near the end of our program today. Lastly, Gail Henney, who was a poet laureate here, also in North Andover, she couldn't be here. And she wrote a poem, Time Contracts. And we have a reader for her from our committee.
Okay. So this is Gail Henney's poem, Time Contracts. Young and old hands clapping in unison, waves of exuberance rolling through the crowd. Special cardboard glasses balancing atop noses. Golden alpenglow bathing hundreds as the sun's lower quadrant vanishes. Cheering erupts. Then clouds obscure the sun. Minutes tick by. Birds quiet. Anxiety grows, disappointment palpable. Clouds mask the black moon consuming the sun. Cold descends, day becomes night. Shouting, laughter, clapping rises from the crowd. Couples hugging, kissing. Glowing cell phones are constellations in the gloaming. Time contracts. A second dawns, orange and pink, breaks into the murky void. Surprising feelings of community blossom. Unity, connection, rises out of darkness.
And Cygnus Spencer was our contest judging coordinator, so thank you so much for all the work you did. It's well north of 100 poems that she had to help organize and have score. You know, we all scored them on our judging panel, which included Karen Klein, Krista Lamb, who was also one of our contest coordinators, Graham Jackson, who was also a contest coordinator. They did a lot of work behind the scenes. Also, Dan Spears, who's up in Haverhill at Whittier Pavilion, so he couldn't come down for this one. And Mark Bohr, past poet laureate right before me, the 5th poet laureate of North Andover. So I want to say a special thanks to everybody involved in making the 4th year of the Anne Bradstreet Poetry Contest a success, and something that so many of you got to enjoy today. And I'm talking to people in cable access land over there, because I know that probably more people are watching. So I see you guys. So thanks for watching too. before I bring up Mark and Karen, I just want to tell you a couple of things that the Poet Laureate Committee is doing in the future besides the contest. I talked to the folks at the Andover and Lawrence Y. Now it's just the Y, right? Not the YMCA or W, just the Y. So at the Y, we're going to be teaching probably in September some poetry classes. Probably start with like middle school, high school, and get people ready to read at a coffee house type thing that we'll have at the Ys. So more on that later. But if you're a member of the Y or you want to be, check it out because that's going to come in the fall. Oh, what else do we have? Yeah. Next year is year number 5 for the poet Anne Bradstreet poetry contest. So it's going to go a little bigger. So you guys were in year 4. Start writing poems now. I don't know what the theme's going to be yet, but it's going to be, just write hundreds of poems in your notebooks, and then like my kid used to always win the Georgia Young Author thing every year. I'd be like, what are you going to write for that? I don't know. Oh, I forgot. That's today. I got to turn it in. Go to a notebook. Rip. Okay, I'll turn this in. Winner. So maybe that's you guys too. Just always be writing down notes. If you hear something funny or something that makes you mad, write it down in a notebook, and then that's all good fodder for your novels and your songs and your poems or, your essays. But thank you for everybody who's here, and I'm going to next call up. Mark is going to come up, our former Poet Laureate, number 5, and he's going to read his poem, Bradstreet School Still Stands.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you, Jason. It's wonderful to have you as Poet Laureate to inspire and to share and to be a source of bringing art and culture into our town, and this is just part of it. Jason does many other things too. So I wrote this poem, Bradstreet School Still Stands, and it was about history, thinking about Anne Bradstreet. And I wrote it when I was looking at what was then Bradstreet School in the center of town. It was slated to be torn down. Well, now this poem is becoming history itself because it is torn down. It's been rebuilt in that area of the center of town. But that memory still remains, and that's kind of what poetry is all about. Something that burns into your memory, into your spirit, into your heart. And that's what that school building represented as a connection to not only all the people who went to school there, but to the teachers who served the students, looking back to the history of the town, to Anne Bradstreet and her husband, Simon Bradstreet. Thank you, Karen. One little quirk of naming, because I know Anne Bradstreet, I assumed the school was named after Anne Bradstreet, that old school. It was not. It was named after Simon. And it was only recently where the Early Childhood Center, which is called Anne Bradstreet Early Childhood Center, brought the name of Anne Bradstreet back onto a building in our town. And that was a wonderful thing, as voted by the select board. Okay. And so my daughter went to that school, and so I had a personal connection, and I just felt sad when I saw that it was going to be torn down. And I went there one December afternoon with snow on the ground, and I put this poem to pen, and here's what came out. Bradstreet School still stands. The old brick facade gazes silently down, watching the quiet yard of school days past. Empty halls echo, life and lessons are done. Windows stand dark, the welcome door is held fast. For these brick walls, the bell has rung. Here, lively feet and playful voices once gathered. Days began with a class on the swings and bars. So keen to learn, a jest, not all so eager, for the schoolmistress bell to sound the start. Take your seat, hands folded, sit straight for teacher. Pens out, books open, the lessons begun. Perhaps the hand of an earlier mistress guided their pens, though her hand held a quill. She walked the same land, a poet's page was her canvas. She reared her own with goodly words instilled. In the verse that she wrote to her child not yet born, Was it meant for those who gathered here each morn? Perhaps you saw far to your red brick namesake. Would you nod your assent to what your words began, to lessons learned under your good gentle name, surely taught, as by your own careful hand, the pupils and teachers you trained, your descendants became. The purpose that guided the build of this frame has carried on to other rooms, other doors. This mistress is left behind her fence, her gate. Decision made, by town citizens okayed. This red brick lady will stand no more. Only some stores, in-town homes, and a plaque, leaving the mind's eye and a gift in the heart of those with town colors of scarlet and black, of those in her care who studied and taught, of those with the spirit of sturdy red brick. The good gentle spirit of our mistress poet, with her own at her knee as she taught and penned, has carried on to those who were not yet born, has carried on to those who guide with sure hand, has carried on to those who teach all as their own. When this brick lady is gone, some will yet understand. Bradstreet School is still here. Bradstreet School still stands. Thank you.
Okay, then we're going to bring up Karen Klein, who's going to read for Anne Bradstreet. Oh, and I'd be remiss not to tell you, at the Purple Couch Bookshop, they've been sponsoring many of our North Andover Poets Corners, where we have nationally and internationally known poets that happen to live nearby. Stop into the bookstore and read from their published or soon to be published or maybe not published works. So please come. It's just go on their website or your favorite social media or your least favorite social media and look for when those dates are. But it's usually at noon on a Saturday, sometime during the month at Purple Couch. And on the 15th, I think it's going to be of June, we're going to have a special event for kids, people of all ages, which is book spine poetry, where you run around and read titles off the book spines and kind of make a collage of the words. So it's for non-poets as well as poets. So please show up to that. I believe it's going to be noon on the 15th of June. If I'm saying it on TV, I guess that's when it is. What else do we have? Also, Stevens Estate. Look for some events there during the summer. I mentioned the Y will have some events, and we'll probably, I've been invited to do stuff for everybody just over the town line a few places too. So where can you follow us? Yeah. If you're on Facebook, North Andover Poets Corner. On Instagram, you can find me, just, my name, Jason O'Toole. And sometimes if I'm not banned, for posting some content, that, that never happens. Then I'll post events. But let me stop talking right here.
No, just mention Trails and Sales.
Trails and Sales. What's Trails and Sales? September.
From the North Andover Historical Society.
Right, North Andover Historical Society.
We'll be talking about Anne.
Yep. There's a lot of big Anne Bradstreet news coming up, but
yes.
I know what the problem is. This is super low. There we go. All right. Anyway, without any further ado, let's hear from Anne Bradstreet in the voice of Karen Klein.
I should say good morning. I know I say good morning to all of my classes when I teach, and they say a lot of times, like today, it's not morning. And I say, well, gee, it is somewhere. Somewhere in the world it's morning. And you have to understand that this is work that we do that is universal. It is absolutely everywhere in the world, but our world started here in 1646 when the Bradstreets and the Farnhams and the Stevenses and the Barkers and lots of people came here and founded our town. And I'm so glad you are here today enjoying the trees. Aren't we enjoying the trees today? Separating us from the sun if you want to have some protection. We have to save our land. Land here, land everywhere in the world. And these children talked about that. And we talked about crickets and goldfinches and cicadas. They're little tiny things, but they add to nature. And we've always had them, and we always need to have them. And if we don't protect the earth, we won't have them. And I use this as one of my teaching tools. This is not a big one. I've had bigger, but these are not working real well. But you get the idea. I tell a child, go grab me the bubble. Stop it, grab it, bring it back to me. They can't do that. It's going to break, and it disappears. And that's what happens with our words that we're talking right now. They disappear. They're not here anymore. Maybe in your memory, but they're not able to be seen again unless you write them down. Words changing worlds have to be written to have them shared with other people who may be changed because of these words. When we heard the words, kindness has a secret power, it's the glue that binds us all. I love that. Thank you. I don't see where she is, the little girl who wrote it, but you have to remember those things. They're valuable and they're not big, but they're vital. Let me finish with the one I always use. If you've been here before, you know what I'm going to say. To My Dear Children is my favorite poem. And the last two lines tell you why we're here. This book by any yet unread, I leave for you when I am dead. That being gone, here you may find what was your living mother's mind. Make use of what I leave in love, and God shall bless you from above. That is what Anne left for all of us. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
You're all still here? Go home. Get out of here. No, thank you, everybody, and for our young poets and our older poets. Man, this was exciting, and I hope that what you will do is continue writing and reading and listening to your world around you, and remember that it starts here, but your words are going to change the world. I'm sure of it. And who was that? Scarlett? Where'd she go? She says the earth has feelings. That's correct. So, I mean, if she knows it, there she is. Scarlett, the earth has feelings. Thank you for telling us that. We needed the reminder. Enjoy your summer, everybody. It starts now.